We're just trying to help the new girl feel welcome. Her name's Christy, and she moved here from Ohio. This is what my principal, in front of a room full of my teachers, told me. And then he said, we selected you out of the whole student body to make her feel welcome, to show her around, and to share your locker. They told me that they had run out of lockers, and they knew out of the whole 9th grade, I would be the one who would be willing to help. Well, it turned out that my principal and all of my teachers were wrong. I minded this a lot because this was the year I was finally going to get rid of those names that my classmates had called me since elementary school. Yeah, I was the one that did exactly what my teachers wanted me to. So my classmates looked at me as the apple polisher, the brown noser, and the teacher's pet. Yeah, I was that rare teenager that was positive, upbeat, friendly, and kind, and talked to everyone. And, my teachers loved me, but my classmates thought I was a bit annoying, which means that not much has changed for me from then till now. But the one difference is that back then it bothered me. So I thought I needed to change who I was. Now, share my locker, it was like this wide. My main concern was, how was she going to fit her big wool maxi coat in my locker that was already stuffed with my big wool maxi coat? Yeah, it was the 70s. We wore coats down to our ankles, and that was my main concern. Now, as I go along here, remember that I am a friendly and kind person, especially when you hear her version of the story. I remember that I was so worried about what my classmates thought of me and what they were saying about me that I wasn't as nice to her as I normally would have been. But I really did think I shared my locker half and half. And she's shaking her head no, because she tells me I made her put her big plaid maxi coat, yeah, hers was plaid, in the bottom of my locker with my dust bunnies and my dirty gym clothes. Now, I don't remember that at all, but I do remember her coat was quite ugly. And don't judge me yet, because trust me, it gets a bit worse. I remember that at one point she decided to move her stuff out of my locker and share with a friend. She tells me she did this because one day she came to the locker. I was putting her stuff in the middle of the hallway, and I said, I want my locker back. I don't remember that either. It's kind of funny how I don't remember the two unkind things I did, but I remember every detail to everything else. But I do remember that I felt terrible that she moved her stuff out because I knew she did this because of me, and this wasn't me. So I decided that if my teachers and my classmates, if my classmates decided that they were going to call me the brown noser or the teacher's pet all through high school, which some of them did, I was okay with that, but I was not okay with not being myself. So I went to her, told her I was sorry. She was a better person than me and accepted my apology, and we became good friends. We walked to school every morning our sophomore year. We went out for track in the spring. We decided to do long jumping. They called us the broads from the pit. And we were shocked when they called us for varsity letters that first year because we didn't even know we had enough points. We were just doing it for the fun. We graduated and we had kids and we kind of went our separate ways. So my story now goes to Christmas Eve, 2001. It was a year past my husband's stage 4 cancer diagnosis. During Mark's recovery, the jewelry he worked for just eliminated his position. Not a nice guy. But Mark decided to open his own jewelry store right before Christmas that year. We barely had any inventory. We were going to be open till 2 o'clock on Christmas Eve, and at 1:30, the last customers walked through that door, and I was shocked. It was Christy and her now new husband, Bill. And lucky for us, Bill loved buying jewelry for Christy. So the next 17 years, I became Bill's personal jewelry consultant. So you're welcome, Christy, because I was really good at that job, and she has a lot of nice jewelry to prove it. In 2018, in the summer, Mark had been stable for 10 years. We were 61, and he wanted to have some retirement with me, so he decided to close the store. Bill came in, bought a bunch of jewelry for Christy. We wrapped it. He took it home and hid it. She still receives gifts 5 years later from Mark's store, and I think this is so awesome because Mark and I had exactly 1 month of retirement together. His cancer returned, and he passed away April 2021. And at that time, I had a lot of people checking up on me because they were really worried about me, but I looked really well from the outside really quick. And so the calls slowed and they stopped, but one person checked up on me every week, walked with me, and she still does. That's Christy. We signed up for a class in January called Body Balance. It's a mixture between yoga and Pilates. So we went from being called the broads from the pit in our teen years to the wall huggers in our senior years. Because we stand by the back wall, there's mirrors in the front, and we're balancing on one leg, and we're high-fiving and giggling the whole time. Our butts are holding us up. Christy drives me to Story Slam every month, and we always sit in those two seats. Just so you know, there are seats. At least we think so. I was always jealous of those people who said they had a best friend, someone they could rely on no matter what, share anything with. I never really actually thought I had that. But I realize now I always did, ever since the 9th grade, that girl, that I was supposed to just try to help feel welcome. And I didn't do a really good job of that in the beginning. But when I was at the lowest point in my life ever, she was the one person that was just trying to help me get by, one day at a time. And for this, I'll be forever grateful to my best friend. Thank you.